Well, if you're like me, you probably haven't thought about tariffs very often since high school. And to be honest, probably a lot of us didn't even think about it in high school. But tariffs are all the rage right now, and the latest victim of tariffs, or at least that's what seems to be the case, is Spawn. Hey everyone, I'm Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and in today's video, unfortunately, we're discussing something that's a pretty negative change in the comic book marketplace. One of the cheapest comic books out there from Todd McFarlane has been Spawn. That's been true for a long time. He's infamously stated that he wants to keep Spawn as one of the cheapest comic books to give back to the loyal fans for the long-running series. Spawn has been at the $2.99 a comic book price point here in the United States for some time. However, starting in July, Spawn with issue 366 is going up to $3.99, which is a landmark change in the comic book pricing market. Now, tariffs are going to be in the headline and the thumbnail of this video, and it's going to be referenced by places where, like, the first article where I saw this was on popverse.com talking about this. However, we don't actually know that tariffs are behind this per se, because this could just be a relation to inflation or something else, some other kind of market forces. But let's be honest, anywhere where I've been in the last 24 hours, whether it's my action figure collecting friends, 4K Blu-ray friends, friends that want to buy consumer electronics like home audio gear, car audio, that kind of stuff, Lego collectors, I'm in a lot of those groups, and all of them are worried about tariffs increasing prices on imported goods because of the recent changes by the current administration. And I think that fear, for a lot of people has trickled over. You've seen posts everywhere. Hey, our price is going to go up on G.I. Joe Classified. Our price is going to go up on, Lego sets, that kind of stuff. And comic book collectors are no different. People wonder about raising prices, and this is going to be a big one. So specifically, we're only talking about the 6 comic books in the main Spawn line changing from $2.99 to $3.99, all the core Spawn titles. But that has a ripple effect, right? Because for a long time, Spawn was the cheapest comic around, and now it's kind of joining a price point that a lot of DC comic books have been out for a while. And let's be honest, Marvel comic books are at $4.99 or more for the most part. So it really gets pretty ridiculous pretty fast. And some people will say, hey, if you're on Spawn and you're a big fan of Spawn, changing from $2.99 to $3.99, you're probably not going to cancel the book. It shouldn't affect it too much, although some people certainly will. However, somebody who's on those books may choose now not to buy another comic book that they would have tried out, because now they're like, well, my budget's spent on these books and now I can't afford to try out something different. So it does have a very tangible tack-on effect for comic book collectors. Not to mention, that's money that you could have been used for buying food or any of those sorts of things, right? So I'm extremely curious to see what you think about this. If you could let me know in the comments down below, how do you feel about this price point? Do you think this has been coming for a while? Do you think this is something that we're starting to see effects of inflation creep up? Do you think it's in response to the tariff changes that happened yesterday? What do you think's going on with this, and how do you feel about this going forward? Are you worried about prices of other comic books going up? I know that's kind of my main concern is if we see like Marvel, for example, which I'm mostly a Marvel fan. If I see them raise their price point up from, $4.99 to $5.99 for the standard comic book without any special printing or variant covers or anything like that, and other price points start to creep up above that, man, that's going to be a huge motivating factor for me to choose to read or not to read comic books. Are other Image comics going to raise prices in relationship to this too, since we are seeing, one of the flagship Image titles raise its prices? How do you feel about this? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this quick video. I did want to take a second to thank my channel supporters. They're my channel members that help support this channel every month. I really appreciate you. Your names are scrolling by on the screen right now. And we'll catch you in the next video. Until then, I want to remind you, hey, read comics every day.